Hello again. I've got another customer's piece which we're going to transform with some Mint by Michelle mineral paint and some decoupage paper. My customer loves this solid piece, but she wants it lighter. First thing we need to do is remove these old broken molds. This piece is actually in really good condition, but she has been well loved over the years. So I'm going to use some wood putty to just fill some of the dents that she's acquired over the years, because we are after a smooth finish. Now I'm removing all the hardware. As you can see, they're a bit tarnished, but we are going to re-love them later because they are solid brass. My customer doesn't want the top painted, but the old varnish and stain is really dark and outdated. So we're sanding it off to reveal the beautiful silky oak grain underneath. As we're not after a blonded, bleached or whitewashed finish, what I prefer to seal the natural timber in is Annie Sloan's dark wax. It just really enhances that natural grain. And that gorgeous honey colour is really going to work well with the paper. You can see here that I'm giving the whole piece a prime with a light grey primer. I did forget to mention that I sanded where I had added the wood putty, and I'd given her a good scrub and clean all over, inside and out. The main colour for this piece is Mint by Michelle's My Frenchy Blue. It's a mineral paint and the coverage is absolutely excellent. Look at this. This is just the first coat. It is so silky and smooth. It is just a pleasure to work with. I do take the drawers out so I can be neat and tidy around the drawer edges. The star of the piece is this gorgeous decoupage paper by Mint by Michelle called Foil Bird. I'm using the A1 size and I'm using 2 sheets. First, I have to decide the placement. So I'm just spending a bit of time considering what part of the paper will look best on the door panels. Once I have decided, I will just make a crease with my fingers just to give me a guide as to where to cut a bit of the top off. So now I'm just using my fingers to make a crease where the curved edges are, and a rough guide on the sides, but I will cut the sides about a half a centimetre wider than they are, because it's better to have a little extra to trim off than to be too short on each side. So I'm just using the scissors now to trim around that curved edge and just to check the placement to see if it fits. And now I'm just making a mark where the middle crease is so I know where to put the placement back. Okay, I think we're ready to paste, and this is what I'm going to need: a little brush, and I'm using Redesign decoupage gel in matte this time. I'm also going to use my very favorite tool. It's a felt applicator and also a bit of plastic, and this is part of the bag that the paper came out of. So to start off, I'm holding the paper in place and I'm just putting down a bit of the gel to secure the top. So now I'm using the felt applicator to just secure that top bit, and I'm pushing all the creases and air bubbles out. Then I bring in my bit of plastic, and this really helps to protect the paper because it allows you to be quite forceful in pushing out those creases and protecting the paper at the same time. So I'm only applying a bit of the paste a couple of inches at a time. So this means I only have to deal with pushing out creases and wrinkles and air bubbles a couple of inches at a time. Don't be concerned about the crease that has been made in the paper by being folded in the packaging, because if you use this process, it will just come out. Most importantly, just take your time. There is no rush to get the paper on. So when I'm getting close to the bottom, I get my sharp blade, I make an imprint with my fingernails, and I trim the bottom, and then I can trim into those circular corners. Before painting the second coat of the main colour, I like to seal the paper with a spray varnish. Now I'm applying the decoupage paper to the side panels. I've already measured, I've already cut, I've allowed 0.5 centimetre extra on each side. And I'm holding it in place while I apply the paste to just attach the top. So now I'm using the same process I used for the door panels. I just want you to see here how well it's gone on. There are no air bubbles, there are no creases. However, there are these little wrinkles, and these wrinkles are a reaction to the water-based paste. I don't want you to panic because, as you can see here, I'm heating it up, I'm drying it out with a hot air gun, and they are literally disappearing in front of your eyes. And now I'm sealing with my spray varnish. I'm starting the second coat of paint now, but I'm using a very small brush just to go around the edge of the paper. And then you can come in with your big brush to finish off the second coat. Did I mention that Mint Mineral paint has an inbuilt top coat and is self-leveling? So you can get a brushless look with a brush. Okay, now for some decorating. I'm using a bright gold gilding wax to add a bit of bling to this rounded edge around the bottom. Now, a lot of people ask me why I don't use gold leaf. It is personal preference, but personally I find gold leaf very expensive for what it is. There's a lot of waste and a lot of mess. With gilding wax, a little pot of this can last you forever, and it's just so easy to apply with a brush, and there's no mess. My customer wanted some detail on the door, so I'm using these molds from Flexi-Wood Australia. This one is model FW 2092, and it was just the perfect size to put a bit of bling down the bottom of the panel. Now, they are super easy to paint. They only need one coat, and if you do need to bend them around any shaped surfaces, you can easily heat them up with a hot air gun and they will become really bendy. I did decide to put on some corner detail as well. Unfortunately, these aren't Flexi-Wood. Once all the molds are painted, I'm applying Anistone dark wax, and this process looks really messy and really grungy, but don't panic because I'm gonna wipe most of it off, and you can use the clear wax to get even more off. I'm just trying to trap it in all the crevices. And then I'll use that beautiful gold gilding wax to highlight the peaks. The molds adhere very easily with some wood glue, but just mind there will be some glue spillage, which I do attempt to clean up with a cloth, and then you can get a small painter's brush moistened with water and clean up some of that glue that spills out. But don't panic, because you can always come back and touch up with some paint where the glue is dried and looks a bit shiny. So now I'm just attaching the corner pieces, and I'm going to add some clamps to hold it all in place. Now the last thing to do is to spruce up these brass knobs that are very tarnished. I'm using my bench grinder that has a wire brush. It's like magic, it just effortlessly removes all that tarnish. I just have to say, if you've noticed that my hands are green, that is because I am always working on a couple of pieces at a time, and the other piece I'm working on is green. Just check this out. Okay, the pulls are on, the doors are on. She is looking very smart, very elegant. My customer is super happy. This is going in her bedroom and it's going to really brighten the place up. If you'd like to see more of my work, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. I really hope you've enjoyed this makeover. Thanks for watching.